Actually, it's true. You want to remove the skin from the chicken because it has a lot of fat in it. So a good way to make healthy choices is to remove the skin. True. True or false? Thiamine is one of the B as in boy vitamins. Elena, what do you think on that one? True or false? Thiamine is one of the B vitamins. It is true. Thiamine, niacin, and riboflavin are your 3 Bs. True or false? Eggs are a non-meat source of protein. You are right. That is true. Another My Plate. Here's another My Plate multiple choice. Why isn't color an indicator that bread is whole grains? A, they've added more grains. B, they've added honey. C, they've added brown sugar. Or D, they've added molasses or food coloring. Ooh, look at all those answers. Correct. Came in fast. D, yes, they add molasses or food coloring. Multiple choice. What deficiency could develop if you have low red blood count? If you have a low red blood count, which of these could develop? A, anemia, B, rickets, C, night blindness, or D, scurvy? Some of you may have done your nutrition challenge poster on this. A, anemia, B, rickets, C, night blindness, D, scurvy. No, it's actually A, anemia. Anemia. I guess Marnessa, you had that right. Multiple choice. What food is a good source of vitamin A as in apple? What food is a good source of vitamin A? Is it A, oranges, B, meat, C, spinach, or D, pasta? Which of these would be a good source of vitamin A? A, oranges, B, meat, C, spinach, or D, pasta? Anybody have a guess on that one? Hi, Kendra. I see you just joined us. We're almost done reviewing for the test. Sorry. The answer for vitamin A is C, spinach. Vitamin A is a good source of your dark green and leafy vegetables. So the answer for that one is spinach. What vitamin is needed for blood to A, B, vitamin K, C, vitamin C, or D, vitamin A? Any guesses on which vitamin do we need to help to clot? A is B, B is K, C is C, and D is A. Any guesses on that one? Which vitamin do we need to help us clot our blood? It is vitamin K, good, which was answer B as in boy. True or false? Enriched means adding nutrients A, B, and C back into the grains after they've been removed in the milling process. So this again would be My Plate. True or false? Enriched means adding nutrients A, B, and C back into the grains after they were removed in the milling process. Is that true or false? Anybody want to take a guess on it? The answer is false. When they milled the grains, if you remember this or not, vitamin B and iron are usually what's lost, and that's what they have to put back in. That's what they enrich back into it. Last question on the review. What vitamin is the sunshine vitamin? A, vitamin D, B, vitamin C, C, vitamin B, or D, vitamin A? Correct. The sunshine vitamin is vitamin D, which would be A. Now I saw a couple of you come on a little bit later, which is fine. This will be recorded. It is being recorded. It will be posted later this afternoon because it takes like about 30 minutes for it to pop back up for me to record and put it back in there. And otherwise, I encourage you to use the practice quizzes that are in the front on My Plate and Nutrients and Nutrition. Those are going to help you a lot with review. One last thing I wanted to talk about, and I'm going to bring my screen back up here, is lab evaluation. For the first time, I'm going to have you do a lab evaluation of what you make this week. And if you've already made your muffins or your loaf breads or shortcake, if you can try to remember to answer the questions. You'll notice that this says it's due on Monday. Well, actually, it's whenever you make your quick bread. I have it right now as Friday, and remember you have a week to do it, which actually is over a week because I won't close it till next Friday. And when you do your quick bread, then I want you to fill out the evaluation sheet. So I copy and pasted it in here. And I just wanted to go over the questions a little bit so you understood what they meant. Number one, what cooking principles do you apply when preparing the food? Basically, that's asking you for cooking terms. So like cut in, bake, stir, mix. Those would be cooking principles. I think that makes sense to everybody. 2 and 3 are nutrition, what nutrients are found, and then you're supposed to rate the nutritional value. Well, it probably has most of the nutrients because it's going to have fat because you're going to use shortening or butter or oil. It's going to have sugar, so you're going to have carbs. If you make blueberry muffins, you're going to have minerals and vitamins. Banana bread because you've got vitamins and minerals in that. So it's probably going to have most of them. Water. So would it be a 10 nutritionally wise? Probably not, but you can decide what you're going to rate it. And because you give it a 10 or you give it a 1, I don't go, oh, that's wrong. I know it's a 7. No, I'm asking you to, what do you think based on the nutritional value? And then what are your nutrients? Then there's a series of 4 questions that are going to say describe and evaluate. And it'll be aroma, and I'll bring up the next page, texture, appearance, and taste. And there is an attachment that'll say culinary arts vocabulary words. Last year I was finding that students had a hard time coming up with words. So describe and evaluate the taste, they'd write, it was good. Well, good doesn't really describe and evaluate it. Or appearance, it looked good. Texture, it was good. So I started to come up with, you'll see charts like this. So this was the first one, aroma. So it does help for you to fill this out while it's baking or right after it's made, because then you can decide what that aroma was. Hopefully it's not a burnt because you left it in the oven too long, but it could be sweet. It could be buttery, it could be fruity, it could be multiple words that you'd write for aroma, and then a little bit about why you selected those words. So for instance, on appearance, I might put it was lightly brown, it rose, because you put the leavening agent, hopefully it did rise. It was bumpy, because sometimes a muffin might look bumpy or a shortcake might look bumpy. You could even say it cracked in the middle, because loaf breads, if you've ever made or looked at a loaf of banana bread or pumpkin bread, whatever loaf bread it is, a good sign is when it rises and has a crack down the middle. So that's what you would describe and evaluate. And 8 is what changes would you make? Maybe next time you would put in some blueberries, or maybe you have no changes. That's fine. Again, I don't mark it wrong because you don't have any changes. But if you were going to do something in the recipe, what would you have done? And 9, the same thing. If you had, it says difficulties in your group. Well, actually, obviously, you're not in your group because you're not in my classroom. So what difficulties did you have when you made the recipe? And maybe you didn't have any, which is fine. And again, if you did have difficulties, and for instance, you measured a tablespoon of baking soda and it was only supposed to be a teaspoon, or you forgot to put something in, or you burnt it, I don't go, oh, I'm going to take a point off there. Basically, you're going to get your points unless you don't describe and evaluate. If I see good, okay, bad, those aren't really giving me a good evaluation. So then I'm probably going to say, nope, I'm going to take off a point. This is a summative assignment. I'll come back here. This is a summative assignment, so you want to complete it. You don't want to just blow it off and say, no, I'm not going to do it because it's just an evaluation. You know, if we were in class, we do lots of various evaluations. Sometimes I have the whole group evaluate. Sometimes I do fist to 5. Your parts, what did you do in the recipe and how did you contribute to your group? But since obviously we're not together, this is an easiest one to do. I might have sometimes have you do, next week might be a poll or a survey monkey and you rate 1 to 5. Just some different ways to evaluate your product. Any questions on the evaluation? All right, and then just a little bit about this week before we go. Tomorrow is the next chart of 5 cooking terms. Thursday then is the nutrition test. It is a timed test at 45 minutes, so you might see a window pop up that says you have 45 minutes. I'm doing that because it's a test. It will be open the whole day, so if you don't get in during third hour, it's okay. If you want to get up in the morning at 9 o'clock and start it, I'll open it a little bit before 9 and I'll leave it open till like 3:30-ish, around there. So you can take it when you want, but I just want you to know I wasn't going to open it and leave it open all day without the timer, because then I know, unfortunately, people can cheat. They'll go on and say, oh, I did that one, I'll come back and study some more and come back. I don't want that to happen. So that's why you'll see a timer. Does anybody have any questions or concerns, comments, anything before we head out? Heads up, next week is yeast spreads. Yeast is very hard to buy in the grocery store right now because of what's happening. So I will give you some alternative things that you can make using refrigerator items. Like we usually make magic marshmallow crescent puffs, which use those crescent, kind of like how you had the biscuits in the tube, the crescent rolls are in the tube. And then the other thing we always made with yeast spreads was pizza, homemade pizza dough, and I will give you that recipe. You can make it into pizza, you can make it into cinnamon rolls, you can make a loaf of bread if you can get yeast. Yeast is not, I tried to get some, I have some, I always have some because I love to bake, but I tried to get some more last week and there was none on the shelf. So I realized that, and so I'll give you some alternative things you can do. And remember, you can always pick an culinary arts option on the first page. If you can't make something in yeast spreads, you could do one of the options. So that's next week. I'm thinking again Monday or Tuesday probably. I like going on early in the week because it kind of sets up the week for everybody. All right.